So a bit of a background. The power of business barter is what I am going to talk about. But the background is that about 20 years back, I was having my business in Central Asia, and they, especially the country where my most of my operations were, that was in Uzbekistan, and Tashkent was the capital of that country. And they had that typical problem. If you remember, in '95 we had a problem of current account convertibility. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever
Yeah.
the transactions, the international transactions happened, you needed to convert your local currency into the dollars. And because we had insufficient dollars at that time in '95, there was a queue, or we were not able to meet the import obligations so far as the payments were concerned. At that time, we had very limited reserves. Similar was the situation of these countries after they became independent, and it continued for quite some time. So around 99 2000, I was highly leveraged with that market. So I had a lot of things happening there, and because I was one foot of mine was there in that part of the world and one in India. The transactions were happening, the demand was huge, but we were getting stuck when it came to the payments. So huge demand, everything wonderful, good people, good environment, good food, everything top class, but the convertibility was not there. So it is then that I started explore. And by the way, at that time, Government of India came out with the focus market scheme, and that it was such a paradox that number one country in that list was Uzbekistan, where the Government of India and the Ministry of Commerce wanted to uh, you know promote promote exports, and they were giving additional incentives to the exporters in India. So I then walked into the cabin of a very, very senior, I won't name the person, very, very senior functionary in Reserve Bank of India, and I told them, sir, you are working against the will of the Commerce Ministry and the will of the country, because you are demanding dollars, because that is part of the policy, whereas the government of India wants us to export more, and the situation of that part is very well known. And he was surprised. He actually did not know exactly about that country, and then said, "How is it possible? And what do you suggest?" I said, "I don't need to suggest anything. There is a four-line paragraph in FEMA which is talking about counter trade." So that counter trade was, I mean, there was no explanation, nothing, absolutely. But the principle was explained that you could import goods from outside, out of India, and settle them by exporting goods or services from India. So that was the very brief description which I made that senior fellow read. He called his subordinates, and the process started. And through our authorized dealer, which was HDFC Bank, we opened that mechanism of counter trade, and that was nothing but indirectly barter. So that necessity was the invention of this invention. Was the caused me, made me explore this barter mechanism, and that's how I started this whole thing with international barter. And I later realized I was a tiny entity, very tiny entity, but I realized that I was the first to start exploring that thing. That's how.
Absolutely correct.
So that is the background. And then I realized that things like uh, this, which had macroeconomic implications, this mechanism was able to take care of. So, I mean, today I realize that probably I developed this whole business, probably for days like what is going to unfold post COVID. And it is not an alarmist thing, it is a very, very real thing. You may disagree. If you do, please write in there in the chat box. But that is my belief, that things will not be the same after COVID. So this is the background with which I start. And rules of engagement are very simple. Please ask me questions. Just write them down in the chat box. I will definitely take them up. And there are 3 surprise gifts for 3 best questions. So this is just to incentivize participation. And just my request is, please keep an open mind, because whatever misconceptions or mental blocks we have for this mechanism, we need to demolish them today. Just keep an open mind. Please keep asking questions. I am sure that I have 2 answers for each question of yours. So we are expecting that we would be restarting our businesses, barring a few which are working. Zoom is one of them, but most of us will have to restart our business. We'll have to go to the market all over again. We'll have to understand the market all over again. We probably will need additional working capital. We will be fighting a very, very defensive sentiment in the market. There is hardly going to be any demand. Very difficult. We are thinking we don't know how this marketplace will look like after this whole thing happens. We probably we'll have to hire new staff, because for example, one of my family business or my wife's business is a restaurant. Only 4 out of 24 of her staff are here. 20 of them have gone back to their villages. They were trained painstakingly, but I don't know what will happen. Would they come back? When would they come back? Under what conditions? What terms? So we'll have to hire them all over again and train them again. Of course, there was some surplus inventories which got generated, probably some seasonal things which we had planned for this season. How do we dispose them of? That will be a question. The costs will keep on rising, and we have already lost sales. So how do we handle them? We'll have to take care of some perishable stocks. Till now, probably they survived, but we'll have to immediately take care of them, dispose them off before they go bad totally. And then this is another aspect, doubtful debtors. Now everybody would be facing fund flow, cash flow issues. Some of them हाथ खड़ा कर देंगे, भाई पैसे नहीं है, खत्म हो गया, ये हो गया. Many of them are thinking how to invoke force majeure. The छोटे players हैं, they are really struggling. They don't need to invoke force majeure, but what can they do? Then we have service providers. Would they be able to provide us the services at the prices which we want? Would they stay at their price points and realize over a year that no, those prices won't work? We ourselves will need to buy some purchasing perishable inputs, because our existing perishable inputs have already gone. They have perished. So that is the background. This is what we will face, and we are likely to face maybe even bigger issues. It is not an exhaustive list. So my belief is barter is going to come in very, very handy. Before we proceed into the mechanism, let us understand what is barter. A traditional barter means I give you something and you give me something in return. So that is how the traditional barter happened. It has been happening. Okay. But probably this is why it also disappeared, or it also slowed down. It went into hibernation. It is hiding somewhere. This mechanism is not working properly because there are some inherent problems with that barter. This is the way we started transacting some 20 years, 200 years back. But today, why are we not? Where is it? Why don't we see that? So why it is hibernating, or what are the problems with traditional barter? First of them is, we call that coincidence of needs, which means if two sides have to transact with each other in barter, I should need your product and you should need my product or service. So that should coincide. Additionally, I should need your product, you should need my product or service, and we both of us should need them together. I should need your product now, and you should need my product now. So timing has to match. And thirdly, if both these things match, even the value should match, because अगर मैं आपको 100 रुपए की चीज दूंगा और आप मुझे 50 रुपए की चीज दोगे, why should I transact? So even the value must coincide. And there are some other coincidences which have to happen. Besides that, there should be documentation which earlier never happened in traditional, in the conventional way of doing business today. We have reasonable degree of documentation. We have invoices, we have checks, we have communication. But in barter, how do we do that? So that came in the way. Absence of regulatory and taxation compliances. So this has been a big issue. So these have been the reasons why traditional old barter has not been doing well. Old barter people or old way of doing business does not do well because of all these reasons. And now, in this age, what we have done is we have taken care of all those problems. The coincidence of needs is not required. There is appropriate documentation. There is no hurdle in regulatory and taxation compliances. And more than that, besides offering all the advantages of barter, we are online. We are multilateral. It's not only about two people doing that business. We are able to enable a plethora of people, plethora of businesses to transact with each other in real time, and with 100% compliance so far as records are concerned, regulations are concerned, and taxation are concerned. And then it is also scalable. This platform or this mechanism can reach any nook and corner of the country, and if required, of the world. Today's snapshot, it is about a 17 billion economy in the formal sector. Informal, nobody knows. So it is roughly around 113,000 crores of, and it is about 40 years record. So it is not a new thing. Even modern is not new. Modern, we are calling that because to distinguish it from the old industry. You'll be surprised to know that 65% of the Fortune 500 companies engage in barter. They transact through platforms. In the world, we have around 400 platforms for barter. West, US, Australia, Europe, they have special fields for filing returns. If it is VAT, they call that VAT is the more prevalent term which they use, or income tax. So they have those fields mentioned in those forms for this kind of a mechanism. If you are transacting it through this mechanism, you have to report it through these fields. Okay, so now just to continue that modern part of this thing, let us see what is happening currently in the world. All of us have used or heard about these platforms: Airbnb, Uber, Ola, Pepperfry, Spotify. Spotify आजकल बहुत पॉपुलर आ रहा है, वो अनिल कपूर का जो आता है म्यूजिक वाला ऐड आता है उसका. Booking.com, Urban Company, which was till recently being called Urban Clap, Rentset Go, Zoom Car. Now there is something very, very common in all these platforms. One, all of them are technology platforms online. The discovery of the goods or services is happening online. So there is technology involved. There are a large number of providers of services or products, and we are able to track the transaction. So that is how the mechanism is working there. But if you notice, all these platforms are transacting in single single commodity or single service or single kind of products. Yeah. And what if, okay, we'll come to that. In addition, if we realize as professionals, we have realizable inventories of professionals, which means which have not been realized. That is called realizable inventory. Up to 70% of our capacity as professionals, we have surplus. We are not able to realize it. A case in point is, say, a website designer. Given a choice, he can design probably in a month, say 20 websites, but since he gets only 5 websites to design, he designs only 5, right? Which means the rest of his capacity goes to trash. Manufacturers, they can, if the demand is full, they can realize at least double the amount or quantity of goods. But since the demand is not there or the requirement is not there, their capacities are up to 50% getting wasted, and I am afraid post-COVID, the number will go higher. We have service providers, depending on which kind, up to 55% of if I'm a consultant, I can consult 20 people in a month, but probably I'm consulting only 5 or 7. Not that I don't have the time, not that I don't have the acumen, but simply because I don't have the demand. I waste that capacity. Okay. Traders, similarly, they say up to 45% of their trading capacity is being wasted. Experienced sellers, for example, these event organizers. I happen to speak to one of my friends who is very senior in the events industry. He says, "हम खाली बैठे हैं और बर्बाद हो गए." This is what he says. Events are nothing but experiences, and these people have been wasting 80% till now. Now for the next year, I don't know whether it will be 90% or 95%, nobody knows. Rest of their capacity is getting wasted. So this being the background, what if all of us, and let us take the example of all our IBG members, we have something or the other to sell. And we can continue selling in the conventional market, whatever we are able to sell, but still we would be left with something else to sell. What if we start exchanging with each other? Okay, we keep a record. My sale, if it is settled by my purchases, I'll be able to fulfill my needs without spending any money, just by sending or selling my goods to new clients. So what I get in the bargain, I get new clients. I am able to sell my perishable or surplus inventory, and I am also in return able to buy something good and useful, which otherwise would have costed me something in conventional money. So what if we all of us together decide to follow this mechanism, and my famine is taken by somebody who has floods, and his floods are taken by me who has famine. Both the problems are solved, both are happy, and that is how the mechanism works. And this is exactly what we have done on BizPay. We have brought hundreds and hundreds of businesses on the platform, and they are transacting on the platform. And in this time, they would realize that they will be able to do much better, because it's kind of a bypass mechanism. When the conventional thing doesn't work, this mechanism will come in handy. Just like how this mechanism made the country Greece survive for 6 years. So you can Google and find it out. Greece has survived for over 6 years using this very mechanism, because they became bankrupt as a country. So it's a unique platform where all kinds of goods, services, information, experiences, real estate, etc., can be transacted in a very, very transparent, real-time, 24/7 manner, with all the regulatory requirements fulfilled, everything. I want to give a small example using some of our members here. I have taken their permission. If somebody has not given me, I assume that they would allow me to use their names. And we have Om Mehta. We have him here also probably. Yes, yeah, he's there. Assuming that he's into, because he's into projects and HVAC and all, is a part of this mechanism. And we have this Carnival Cinema. They have about 400 screens of multiplexes pan India. So Mr. Om Mehta is able to sell his HVAC system and projects and all to Carnival because they keep on renovating and they keep on building their own multiplexes. Okay. Carnival, Mr. Vipin Mehra, who has a wonderful brand, sports apparel and inner garments, inner apparel, innerwear, and he buys from Carnival on-screen branding. Remember, they are not paying to each other. Kocher Fabrics, he buys off-screen branding from Carnival Cinemas. So on-screen is what is there on the screen. Off-screen means it can be standees, it can be your seat covers, it can be those frames where he can brand it, it can be branding on the tickets and so on. Now, Mr. Nikhil Savla needs sports and innerwear from Chromosome. So Mr. Nikhil Savla buys it from Mr. Vipin Mehra, not pays to him anything in conventional form. I'm saying conventionally, there is no money taking, transacting or changing hands. Kocher Fabrics sells fabrics and soft furnishings to Anandita Gupta. I think the spelling may be Anindita. I could not confirm it. Is also a member. And Anindita provides digital marketing to Om Mehta. And Nikhil Savla provides real diamond jewelry to Om Mehta. And this is how this ecosystem works. Obviously, you will have questions, I'll answer them. So this is how, without using money, this whole ecosystem is able to buy and sell and fulfill his demand, or the businesses are able to fulfill their demands of diverse things without using money. The account is real time, the account is maintained real time, and that's how we are able to support each other. I'm using this word deliberately. We are able to support each other because Kocher Fabrics did not want to spend money on branding. Chromosome did not want to spend money on branding. So they did not. But they got the branding. Because of branding, they got the business. And similarly, I mean, Nikhil Savla, though he deals in real diamond jewelry, there may be a question, diamond jewelry or innerwear ka pricing match nahi hoga. But yes, he's free to buy other things from other people also. I'm just giving you an example. So that's how this whole ecosystem works, and works on your mobile. It is as modern, as up to date, as if you can call it glamorous as any other modern business. So this is just an example. The advantages of this mechanism are that you become preferred. For example, all the IBG members, if we want to do it through this mechanism, we will be, today we are exchanging referrals, yes. We can also become preferred sellers to all the IBG members. IBG members, why would they buy from us? Because they would not have to spend their hard-earned money to buy from us. So just understand, if I don't have to pay money and I'm able to still buy goods and services in this time, there's nothing better than that. We'll be able to generate sales through purchases. Now, this is a special mechanism. Nowhere would you find such kind of a mechanism where your purchases lead to your sales. It need not be a direct input in your business. For example, when I buy diamond jewelry from Nikhil Savla, and I am, for example, a restaurateur, how would it increase my sale in conventional method? It has no connection with my business. But on BizPay or on such platforms, there is a connection, because since I have bought something, the platform starts selling somebody to me to buy from me to settle the transaction. That's how any purchase of mine generates additional sale for me, and you are able to get additional new customers. You will have more sales, and that's how you will have more profits. You are able to easily take care of perishable goods, surplus inventories, difficult inventories. You are able to monetize your expertise, time, and potential. And these are things which we generally do not even put it on our balance sheet. Not generally, never. Many of that expertise might be, when you want to uh, uh, put it, when you have bought it from somebody, it may be there, but otherwise it doesn't find its place in the balance sheet. But expertise has value, time, and potential. So these things can be monetized through this mechanism. We are able to fulfill all our triple bottom line goals. The popular people, planet, and profit. Everything what you want from the platform is possible. We are able to increase our turnover. We are able to get more clientele. We are able to reduce our cost because we are not spending our hard-earned money. Because we are not spending our hard-earned money, the liquidity improves. We are able to go to those markets where otherwise we could not have gone. Because that would have costed us. But here that market himself is coming to you because he doesn't want to pay for his purchase. That is why he comes to you. And that's how we develop the strategic fit and the advantages for the participant. So whatever you need, all the things can be transacted on the platform. It is good for you when you want to develop new business, want to handle perishable inventory, want to launch a product, and you have, especially for startups who don't have money, they want to launch a product. This is where this mechanism comes in handy. They are able to buy promotion or launch pads without money, and they are able to sell their good product, otherwise good product, which is not sold in the market because they have not been able to go to the market. So there's a very good fit. In slowdowns like what we are now anticipating, we are able to, if we have underutilized time or potential, as we already discussed. Doubtful debtors. Now debtors, there is a case, I'll not name the person. He's part of IBG, but I'll not name the person. So I was just having coffee with him in, I think, not barista, Starbucks. And he happened to tell me that, that fellow, for 3 years, he's not giving me my money. So I happened to know that fellow, and he was transacting with me on the platform. And I said, what is the amount? He said, around 65,000. So 3 years, he's not been able to pay me. I said, let me talk to him on phone, and then I'll take you on the conference. If both of you confirm that the amount, I have a solution. He said, fine, if you can find a solution. So I called that fellow, a friend of mine and a participant on the platform, and I told him this, and he said, yes yaar, kya karu, abhi wo kuch ho nahi pa raha hai, aisa ho raha hai, waisa ho raha hai. And it happens, let us understand, in business everything happens. So long as the intention of the business is good, I think they are right candidates for such a mechanism. So he said, yes, मैं देना चाहता हूँ, but मेरे पास जो होता है उसको पसंद नहीं आता है, और पैसा मेरे पास आ नहीं रहा है. I said, okay. So I confirmed the balance. Both are online, and then I said, okay, what I'll do, there will be, one of my members will pick up your stock for that amount, and that IBG member, who is a BizPay member also, that BizPay IBG member would be able to pick up some stock of the same value from somebody else. Both agreed, and that 3 years old issue got settled. they were not able to talk to each other for obvious reasons. They were trying to avoid each other. One was trying to avoid the other, and that issue settled. So this is how the mechanism worked for them. So cash crunch is another possible way of utilizing the platform. This is the logic. I mean, those who want to understand the logic, they were accountants and people who are very calculative. On the left side, you have sales happening without barter. You have huge spare capacity. When a barter platform comes, you are able to sell your spare capacity, and in return, you are able to buy something against that without money. So your profit increases, your turnover increases. So that's the mechanism, how you are able to increase your better your top line and bottom line. That's how it works. Coming to the typical questions, please do ask if you have questions in the chat box. I think yeah. So Mr. Nikhil Savla has raised his hand. I'll take your question. So the typical one, yeah, Mr. Nikhil ji, पूछिए.
Yeah, my question is, say I am doing this diamond jewelry business, right?
Yeah.
I have taken the loan.
Okay.
I have to repay to bank.
No. So we are not talking about repayment of bank loans. We are in fact transacting without money. But
okay.
Now, indirectly, I'll tell you. Indirectly, suppose you have some expenses which if you are able to meet through this platform in barter, that will release your cash flow, and that money will be now available for you to pay to the bank. So is it legal? Now the thing is, what we are doing, we are helping people transact. We are helping people realize their underutilized or surplus capacities. We are helping them do it through proper records. In fact, this is the whitest of the white business because the third party is keeping track of all the transactions. If it was between only two parties, nobody would know what was the value, what was the GST was paid or not paid, but the transaction was in cash or check. Whereas this is a white transaction because the third party platform is maintaining the transaction. So there is nothing illegal about it. The law doesn't talk about anything of these platforms, though in Prime Minister's speech once, he mentioned about barter, and there is a paragraph in GST manual somewhere where it is talking about barter, and that is how we consider that it is legal, and there is nothing illegal. So that means it is legal. What about the taxation? Exactly the same way, the way it is charged in any other business, the way, because taxation is incidental on your invoicing, not the way you collect your money. Okay. If you are making a regular invoice with regular GST and regular things and booking that as a sale in your books, that will give you the same tax incidents. It will, so exactly same treatment of taxation. Is it like Bitcoin? Well, yes and no. So it is, we have our own cryptocurrency, but in India, we are not dealing with it because we are still trying to understand what the government is doing. Though the Supreme Court judgment has partially opened it up, but we don't want to do anything which is, which we have to retract tomorrow. And then there is this TRS, the transactions happen in rupees only. But the money doesn't change hand, it is only the books. So your book is, if you are a buyer, your book will be debited. If I'm a seller, my book will be credited. So they are all book entries, real transactions, and ultimately debit and credit settle each other. That's the mechanism. Okay. Now coming to Nikhilji's question and the cash flow. So when I analyze my expenses, and it is not a one-time mechanism, it is like a regular way of doing business. Maybe 2% of your business you will conduct through this platform, 98% you will do in a regular manner. Now, assuming that your annual turnover is say 10 CR or 100 CR, and that means you are transacting only 2 crores worth of business through this barter mechanism, which means that you are selling worth 2 crores through this platform and buying worth 2 crores from this platform. So what happens? Your cash to purchase that goods or services worth 2 crores remains in your pocket. Okay, it is not utilized for purchases, and that's how your cash flow increases, and that's exactly how you will repay the loan or the installment or discharge some other liability connected with your cash outflow. And that is how, so it will not be direct cash. The platform doesn't give you cash. Okay, it gives you cash flow. It helps you save your cash, and that's how you are able to do better. हम ये क्वेश्चंस और भी आप कभी भी आपको ध्यान में है, प्लीज फील फ्री टू आस्क मी एनीथिंग.
Absolutely.
Okay, shall we call it a day?
I think
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's really wonderful.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Vinit,
very
it
much.
was really wonderful talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vinit. Thank you very
Bye
much.
bye. Thanks. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you very much, Vinit.
Thank you. Welcome. Welcome. Bye bye.